Dear learners, today we are going to start chapter 1 from class 10th, A Letter to God. Now title of this chapter clearly informs us that this is a story by a man or a person in the form of a letter which is written to Almighty God. God who is omnipresent, God who is omnipotent, and God who is omniscient. Means God who is present everywhere, God who is most powerful, and God who knows everything. Now, in this story, we will see that there is a person whose name is Lencho. Now, he is very kind and soft hearted, and here we can see clearly the act of charity for Lencho which is done by the employees of post office. So this is what we are going to see in this story. So here this story is going to tell us about humanity which is present even in today's world. This is one major point which we are going to see in this story. Second important fact is that this story is also going to tell us about two kinds of conflicts. These two conflicts are, one conflict is between nature and man. One conflict is between nature and man, human being. This is one. Second one will be between humans themselves. Second one will be human being themselves. Now how we are going to see in this? First one, you might have seen that man proposes and God disposes. It means human being make lot of plans, but those plans are executed by Almighty God who is omnipresent, who is omnipotent, who is omniscient. So in this chapter we are going to see how Lencho makes a plan for his life and how God acts in his own ways, because we all know that God acts in a mysterious way. So let us see in this story what are the plans Lencho has for himself and what God has written in his fate, that we are going to witness in this chapter. Now let us see what is there in this before we read. They say faith can move mountains. What does this line mean? It means if we have faith, if we have faith, if we have belief in God, if we have belief in Almighty God, then we can do wonders, or then we can do whatever we want to achieve in our life, that we can achieve if we have complete faith in Almighty God. So here question is that, but what should we put our faith in? Means what is that thing in which we must have faith? So here the writer of this story, G.L. Fluence, wants to tell us that what is that thing in which we must have faith. So here he will be making clear before us that we should have complete or total faith in God. Then only we can achieve success in our life. So this question is there in this story. This is the question this story delicately poses. Poses means this story delicately presents before us. This story very softly presents this question before us, that what is the thing in which we should have faith. Now here Lancho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined. Ruined means here destroyed. Ruin refers for destroyed. When his crops are completely destroyed by the forces of nature in the form of hailstones. Now when his crops are destroyed, he has complete faith in God, so he is asking for 100 pesos. So peso is a currency. It is a currency basically in Latin American countries. So in this story we are going to see whether Lancho's letter reaches God, whether Almighty God helps him in this adverse condition. All those things we are going to see in this story. Now before we begin the story, we have a small activity. Now dear learners, you might be knowing that since from the ancient time, we have been sending messages from one part of the world to the other part. So in earlier times, this money order was a means of sending money from one place to the other through the post office. Nowadays many of us don't even believe that this is the format, or this may be a thing which existed in earlier world, because nowadays we all know that there are lots means of sending money. Maybe through our, we have lot of apps are there. We have Paytm, we have Phone Pay, we have online banking, we have internet banking. So these are the different means through which we can send money also. But in earlier times, this was one important mean through which people used to send their money from one to the other person or one place to the other place. And it was the cheapest way of sending money. So before we start this chapter, we will have this activity. So here we have seen that when we go to a post office, what are the things we are going to see. So for this I request you all that please students go through this activity. So what all things are there in this post office when we go there. Inside the post office, first of all we go to the counter. You all know what is a counter. So counter is a place where a person sits and a particular chit is there just in front of that counter, where that something is written, like here money order is written. It means this is the place where we can send our money orders. Then we are supposed to buy a money order. Then all the boxes we fill in block letters. Block means here capital letters. So then whatever the amount is there for that particular money order, we are going to pay to the clerk counter. Then we take the money orders acknowledgement. Acknowledgement means here that acceptance, that yes, we have sent this money to this person and it is a record for ourselves. Now dear learners, here we have a, we can say, format for money order, which we used to have in earlier times. You may have now also, but nowadays we are not using it, since we have lot of other means of sending money from one place to the other. So go through this money order and fill all the blanks, and this will be the activity which I have given you, and complete this statements which are given after this. Now we can discuss also. First we have, see, in addition to the sender, the form has to be signed by dash. So in addition to send money, this form has to be signed by the, by whom? By the receiver also, by the receiver. So here we are going to have receiver. Then the acknowledgement section of the form is sent back by the post office to whom they are going to send? To the sender itself. After the, who will sign it? After signed by the receiver. So we are going to get that acknowledgement once again, so that we come to know that yes, letter has been received by the other one, or the money has been received by the other person. Now next, third one we have, the space for communication section is used for. So here this phrase space for communication refers that it is for writing some information. Writing information, or suppose we want to convey some message, or to convey our message. For that they have given this space for communication. Next, the form has 6 sections. The sender needs to fill out how many sections? Sender needs to fill 4 sections, and receiver needs to fill 2 sections. So I hope you have understood how to fill up a money order. Now dear students, let us begin our this chapter, so that we can have complete knowledge about this story. What is there in this? A letter to God. So let us begin this. The house. So after this house we have this dash. This dash refers that the author is going to tell us in detail. He is going to tell us details of the house. So what kind of house it was? The only house in the entire valley. So this was only one house in the entire valley. Entire means here refers for the whole or incomplete valley. In whole of the valley, again dash is there, means again he is going to tell us more about this house. In that, which was this one house in this whole valley? Sat on the crest of a low hill. It means this house was situated on the top of a low hill. So this house was situated on the top of a low hill, and from this height, from the height where this house was situated, from this height one could see the river, fields of ripe corn dotted with flowers. So from this place, from the height of this house, a person was able to see river, one thing, then he was able to see the field of ripe corns which were dotted with flowers, which were filled with flowers, and that always promised a good harvest. So when a person will have a look at this ripe corn, or when he will have a look at the ripe corn flowers, he will have a thought in his mind that these corn are going to yield, they are going to yield a good crop, they are going to yield good crop, or they are going to have a good harvest. They are going to have a good harvest. Then the only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower of rain. So what was needed for a good harvest? Dear children, dear learners, the only thing which was needed by this field of ripe corn was a downpour or a good shower of rain. That was needed, so that these corns will ripe and they will give a good harvest. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, means very closely, he knew his fields very closely, had done nothing. So he, since morning, he was not doing anything but see the sky towards the northeast. He was looking towards the northeast. Northeast means, now see, you in geography you might have studied that we have a symbol on the top of every map. So this symbol is always pointing towards north. So here northeast will be in the middle of north and east. So northeast will be in the middle of north and east. So this will be the northeast. So since morning he was looking toward the sky and toward the direction of northeast. Now we are going to get some water, woman. So he told his wife that now we are going to have some rainfall, and that rainfall will be beneficial for our crops. The woman who was preparing supper, that lady, she was preparing supper. Supper means here we can say here dinner. Supper here refers for dinner. So that lady was preparing dinner for everybody. Yes, that lady was preparing supper. Supper here refers for, we can say, dinner or meal. Yes, God willing, she replied in optimistic attitude. She was optimistic. We can say both of them were optimistic in nature. Yes, she told that yes, if God will is there, then surely we are going to have a good rainfall. Now they had their children also. The older boys were working in the fields. Children who were elder enough to work, so they were working in their field, whereas small children, smaller ones, they were playing near the house. So this may be the also question. That's what the elder and these younger boys were doing in the house. So older boys, they were working in the fields, whereas younger ones, they were playing near their house. Until the woman called to them. So at last their mother called to them for dinner. It was during the meal that just as Lencho has predicted. It was just during the meal that Lencho had predicted. And what he had predicted? Predicted refers for the what he had forecast, or what he has told something in advance, what he has foreseen, foresee, or what he has said to something in advance. So he had told in advance that yes, it may be possible that we are going to have a good rainfall. So just at that time, Big drops of rain began to fall. Large drops of rain, they started falling. In the northeast, huge mountain of clouds. Now see here, dear students, huge mountain of clouds. Here we have a figure of speech. Figure of speech. Now earlier I have told you what is a figure of speech. So figure of speech. So which figure of speech is there here? We have metaphor, or in other words we can say it is implied simile. Metaphor is the implied simile. So here comparison is not there. So here it is a metaphor because these clouds, no, they have been regarded equal to huge or large mountains. So here these have been we can say compared, but actually it is a implied simile. So they symbolize the hugeness of mountains. These clouds, no, clouds, they symbolize the hugeness of mountains. These clouds, they are the symbol. So hugeness of clouds. So could be seen approaching. Approaching means they were coming towards them. A large gathering of clouds could be seen approaching towards their direction, towards their field. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. So this may be the question. Why did Lancho went out in the rain? So he went out in the rain only to feel the pleasure, enjoyment of rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, "These aren't raindrops." So when he came back, no, so he exclaimed with joy that these means raindrops, aren't these aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. He told that they are new coins. So here again figure of speech is there. Metaphor. Now why these raindrops are coins? Why these raindrops are coins? Because after getting a good harvest, he is going to sell this harvest in the market, and out of it he is going to get money. So he is going to get money out of this very good harvest. So that is why these raindrops are new coins. Big drops are 10 cent. He told that these big drops of rain, no, they are 10 cent pieces, and the little one are 5. So these are the coins, these are the money, not the drops of rain. With satisfied expression, with satisfied expression he regarded, with satisfied expression he regarded the fields of ripe corns. He regarded the fields of ripe corns with its flowers draped in a curtain of rain. They were draped. Draped means here covered. They were covered, or they were full of raindrops on it. It was like a curtain of rain for these flowers, for this ripe corn. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain very large hailstones began to fall. Now see, this is the twist in the story, dear children. This is the twist in the story, because earlier he was thinking about the rainfall. Rainfall started also. It was good for him. He thought that yes, at last God has listened to his inner conscience. Now these raindrops turned into hailstones. So these hailstones, no, they began to fall. These truly resemble new silver coins. Now these hailstones, they were resembling new silver coins. They were white in color, no? These hailstones, no? They were white in color. So that is why they were looking like a silver coins. The boys exposing themselves to the rain. Now these boys, no, they were exposing. They also went out in order to have some fun, in order to have some enjoyment in the rain. They ran out to collect frozen pearls. Once again, it is a figure of speech. Once again, it is a figure of speech because frozen pearls are the hailstones. Frozen pearls are the hailstones, or we can say frozen rain in the form of balls. Frozen pearls, no, they are frozen pieces of frozen rains in the form of balls, maybe small one or large one. So in next this para we are coming to know about this, what the man is thinking, what Lancho is thinking. It is really getting bad now. Now Lancho became tensed. He started worrying about his fields and he told that it is getting really bad. It is becoming worse. I hope it passes quickly. Now he told that I hope that these hailstones will pass quickly. Otherwise, there will be lot of trouble for him. There will be lot of destruction for him. It did not pass. But what he was thinking, no, that did not happen. As earlier I have told you, no, man proposes, and God disposes. Means we make plans, but God has his own plans. So we can't defy God. We don't know what will happen next. We can't tell something about the future. So let us continue. For an hour the hail rained on the house. Now see, these are the places where these hailstones fell down. So these hailstones rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. So everywhere the hailstones fell down. The field was white as covered with salt. So this field was white because lot of frozen pearls fell on it, and it appears as if it was covered with salt. Now why the writer has written here salt? Means why he is using this word salt? Because we all know that salt is not good for fields, it is not good for our soil. So that is why he has used here salt. Means salt here tell us about this. It was becoming, field was becoming barren, unfertile. Not a leaf remained on the trees. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lancho's soul was filled with sadness. So his soul, his mind, his inner conscience was filled with sadness. He became sad. He had lot of grief and pain. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and he said to his sons. He stood in the middle of the field and he said to his sons. And what he told? A plague of locusts. A plague of locusts. Plague here refers for the some epidemic or maybe some disease. But here we can say plague here refers for the destruction caused by locusts. Locust means here, these are the insects. Locusts are the insects which come in large groups. They come in large gathering, large groups or big swarms. They come in big swarms and they create destruction for the whole field everywhere. So he told that a plague of locusts would have left more than this. They would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. Nothing was there in the fields. So this year we will have, we means here Lancho and his family. They will have no corn because everything has been destroyed by hailstones. That night was sorrowful one. All work for nothing. They had worked hard right from the beginning till the end. But what they have achieved? They have achieved nothing. Means their hard work is futile. It is useless for them to work very hard. So there is only one, there is no one who can help us. We will all go hungry this year. And he told to his sons that this year we are going to have nothing for us. So this is all for today's class, dear students. So we will take up next one in second part.